Well, good rising, everyone, and welcome back to Coffee Talk. Oh, where did my video capture device? What? Let's see. How's everybody doing today? I just have to change. I don't understand why my screen share is not showing up. Let me just... Cam. This is weird. I don't understand what happened. Let's see. Add display capture. There we go. Doesn't need to be giant. Yeah, I don't know why that disappeared on me, but anyway. Alrighty. We go. Danny Smith, good to see you. Vincent Loonman Farmer, CPR6, Spicy Sarah, Chuck Payton on Facebook. I finally figured out how to get all my chats to show up. Dave Hinkle, good to see you, sir. Valley Park, Scooter Orr. My row crop field is flooded, but it drains quick. Poured for 2 days. It's raining. It's been raining here. It's raining right now. We've been getting tons of rain. I am Ion's cat. Spicy Sarah. Aisling 717. Billington 5 times 1,000. Hello. Boston Rain Mud Flood Adventure. Tony Coriolis. Lowry. Chi Chi. Bill Will. TJ Hoff. Seductive music? That's right. Be seduced. You just be seduced by that seductive music. Hello, Squirtle Xerox. I was gonna say, how you liking all this rain? Dude, the rain's insane. The rain is insane. Although I've been taking the opportunity to pull some unwanted plants out of my ground, and then in my ghetto way of like trying to make more grass grow, every time I pull a weed out, I put grass seed in there. So I did that a whole bunch yesterday, and now all of that is being saturated with rainwater, so I'm okay with it. I'm hoping I can get more grass to grow in my yard. My birthday weekend was great. It was great. My children were here. Actually, Cammie and Zach came over and they brought a whole bunch of food. So I didn't have to cook anything. Ted was not feeling good, so that kind of sucked. Ted got home from his trip and he wasn't feeling good at all. But it was cool. I was fed. And I got to hang out with, and I saw Liz. I got to give Liz a hug. And she gave me a hug from the internet. All the people who wanted Liz to give me a hug, she gave it to me. She did what she said she was going to do. Yeah, exactly. The grass thing is working? I hope so. Hey, Chi Chi, thank you, sir, for gifting, or madam, I don't even know, for gifting a membership. At least he got back home in time. Yeah. I had to go pick him up in the morning. It was cool, though. He went to go visit his mom and his aunt in Idaho. So that was cool. For him. Let's see. Yeah. after pulling on one, it's popped something in. Yeah. That's what I tried to do. We'll see how it works. It's not really the way you're supposed to grow grass, but we'll just hope that it at least some of it grows. If half the grass that I plant grows, I'll be happy. And the poor dogs, they're not really happy because it's so gross, but they have shelter. I gave them fresh hay, so they have their little doggy houses, and they have lots of hay, and they can lay in there under the dome and in their doggy houses, and they're not getting wet. So they're good. The chickens, you know, chickens are chickens. They don't really care. They don't really care. I guess I don't need this whole thing on my desk anymore. For a great yard or garden, I recommend Perma Pasture Farms channel. Perma Pasture Farms channel, huh? Is that what you watch? Most weeds bring missing nutrients up. Yeah, I know that. But these particular ones, I'm just tired of them taking over my yard. And literally, when they start growing, nothing else will grow. They grow out like wide and flat, like they look like they're like imposter dandelions. They have yellow flowers, but they're not dandelions. They're something else. They have like, you know, fuzzy leaves, and I can't freaking stand them. And I've been trying to get rid of them. So we'll see. We'll see if it works. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I'll have to try something else. If not, I guess. 4 new chicks after losing a bird. I need to get new chicks. I need to get a few chicks. 2. Need like, I don't even know if they have any more over there at Tractor Supply. Do they still have them? I've just been so busy with the dogs. These freaking dogs. But we do need to get more chickens. So and then I wanted to make videos of the 2 pups that I need to adopt out, so that I could make people desire these cute little sweet girls, because they need homes, you know, they need homes. I can't keep all these dogs. Plus they're all from the same litter, and they're like fighting and stuff. They start to fight sometimes, so they kind of, you know, they need to go their separate ways. You know? So, but then it's all rainy and poopy outside, so I can't even do that. Ten more laying hens, nice. Australorps are great. Still have chicks we're in your area. Maybe they still have them here though, too. Then, my friend has new chicks just born. Doesn't want them. Oh really, Sarah? What kind of birds are they? I can maybe take them. I can take them. Well, wait a minute. Did they hatch them? Do they know if they're male or female yet? Like, am I going to inherit more roosters that I have to exterminate? Because that's kind of why I decided I would just go ahead and go to Tractor Supply and just get some chicks, because I was gonna pop more eggs, but I started thinking, what if we get more roosters? You know? I don't particularly want to have to exterminate more roosters. Isa Browns are good egg layers. I mean, you know. Remember, I remember a while ago, like years ago on Facebook, remember that video was going viral of like a hatchery or something, and they had all the male chicks on top of this grinder, and then they just whoosh, grind them up in like a second, right? And they get rid of all the male chicks. And I remember seeing that and being so upset, and I was like, oh my god, that's horrific. Oh my god, how could they do that to those poor little baby chicks? And now, after I've lived in the country, and I've had to deal with roosters, I'm like, you know, that's probably about the most humane way to deal with it. If you're, if you want to be honest, that's actually probably pretty nice, you know, because when they grow up, it's like, then they know they're being, you know, they didn't even miss anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was an instant. But then they get bigger, and then you have no use for them, or they become assholes, and then you just gotta kill them anyway. I remember the stupid video that went viral. It, like, you know, videos like that kind of like made me try that veganism crap out for a while, because everybody was like, oh, you know, that, remember that stupid shit they were trying to convince people that if you were a meat eater, and there's still people that run around saying that dumb shit. Oh, if you're a meat eater, you're in a blood cult. You're basically in a blood cult. They're, you know, it's just like that idiot Martin Kenny, who changed his name to like Agua Fresco or some shit, and then he went and moved to Portugal and started a cult. That guy was telling me that I was in a blood cult because I ate meat on Facebook. He ended up blocking me, and I was like making fun of him because he also tries to say that he's like Copernicus or some shit, reincarnated. Like, that guy straight lost his fucking mind. Oh, man. Anyway. That was so retarded. See, I've done retarded stuff. Vegan. Made myself sick. Felt like a grazing animal. Now, I love me a steak. I love steak. Big, juicy, rare steak. That's what I like. And I'm not sorry about it. Had to get rid of an armadillo. Just spent $210 on 12 poon bags of clover, 3 12-pound bags of clover seed, white clover, platinum clover, bearcat red clover to add to hayfields. Huh. It's a story on the elderly neighbor who was not able to take the mother dog back. At least, no, dude. I still have all these freaking dogs. I still have his dog. I was hanging out with her this morning. You know, I fed all the dogs. And I take her for extra walks 'cause she's a good girl. It's wild, right? This dude, did I tell you about this dude? He I basically have been turned into a dog rescue here. This dude, he was like in the military for a long time, and he did like jumps out of helicopters. Okay, this is what he did in the military. He was one of those dudes that jumped out of helicopters. Then he was a volunteer firefighter for many, many years. And then on top of that, this guy was a bull rider, a rodeo bull rider for many years. Now, all those things are very hard on your body. You know what I'm saying? And this guy, this guy's having a hard time now. You know, and he's a nice guy. I feel bad for him. He misses his dog. But he, like, can barely get around right now. And I don't know if he's gonna get better or what. And I feel for him. But I need to adopt out 2 more dogs at a minimum. And it's not easy because this area here where I live is so saturated. It's so freaking saturated with dogs that need to be rescued. I'm not kidding. It's heartbreaking. When I started looking in these groups to try to post, first of all, trying to get anybody to post your thing about trying to adopt dogs out is like, it's like they don't want to help you. They're groups for adopting out dogs, but then they don't approve your posts. Like I had somebody approve a post I posted in one of these groups like the other day, and the post was weeks old. Like I gave up on trying to get my post approved. And they posted it like weeks later, and I'm like, the dogs don't even look like that anymore. They're not that age. You know? Like, you guys aren't helping. So 9-line jump or something. I don't know what you call it. I'll take Sugar home. Hey man, we should look into that. Can you take a dog home? She might have to get shots or something. And they have to be, well, if she's under 15 pounds, I think they have to be under 15 pounds. And I gotta be honest with you, I think they might be over that now. So anyway, it's crazy. Then I messaged this local rescue, and I told who I had talked to before, and she replied to me. Then I messaged her back, and I'm like, can you help me adopt these dogs out, because nobody was approving my post in these groups, right? Nobody's approving shit. Craigslist my ad kept getting flagged on Craigslist. Like, I'm surprised I was able to adopt out any freaking dogs at all. But all the dogs I adopted out ended up being through Craigslist. Not even any through, well, one through Facebook. I take that back. One of them did get adopted through Facebook. So I called this rescue, and I'm like, can you help me find homes for these dogs? Like, I wasn't even trying to get the lady to take the dogs. I was like, I'll keep fostering them. I said, but I can't find homes for these dogs. And the lady never answered me. So I was like, okay, so you're just ignoring me now, even though I'm not telling you to take any dogs. I'm like basically just asking for help to adopt out these dogs. Completely ignored. His back must be fucked landing from jumping out of a plane and falling off a bull is hell. Exactly. Shelters here at capacity. Brandon knows because he is from this area, and they are at capacity, like every single one. It's sad. It's extremely sad and heartbreaking. So at least, my situation is probably not the best for these dogs, but at least they're cared for and they're not, they're not on the kill list. But at the same time, I can't keep them forever. Because I am not a rescue. I don't have money to fix all these dogs or, take all these dogs to a vet. I can't do that. I have no money for that. So, treats for the puppies, extra for sugar. Aww. Thank you, Liz. Shelters all at overflow. Exactly. Tried so hard to get into Boiling Springs groups, not approved. Yeah. That's what I'm saying, man. I love steak too. Yes, what's up? Bionic neighbors. US Customs probably has some info about all that. Spinal compression. Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what he's got going on. He said they had to give him basically an epidural shot for his back. Backyard is heaven compared to shelter. Yeah. At least they have each other and they get fed and walked and loved and stuff. They have to hang out in the rain, but so do all of nature's animals, so they'll survive. Hello, Ivan. Hey, what word over on Rumble? Pitch putt. Rain in the East Bay. I saw there's a pitch and putt 9-hole golf course called Bigfoot in North Carolina. Interesting and extremely difficult. That's cool. They love Bigfoot over here. They love Bigfoot over here, which is good for me because I love Bigfoot too. What up, Rockfin? If anybody's watching on Rockfin. Yeah. Dog food's expensive. Yeah. Now, he has been buying the dog food. I will say that. He has been buying dog food. And he went and he bought us a whole bunch of steaks and stuff. And brought us steaks and salmon. I feel bad for the guy. I really do. I really feel bad for him. Yeah, they got their doggy dome, keeps the rain off of them, and their little dog loos. Yeah, so anyway, that's what's going on. I have all these dogs. Bigfoot or Nephilim? I don't know about that. I actually don't think that Bigfoot or Nephilim. I don't think so. I think they are their own thing entirely. Hello, Audie Bird. 1988 over there on Twitch. This is good. I'm so happy I got my multi-stream chat to work. That's about dang time. Okay, well, now, should I look at what it takes to get a dog from America to Scotland? How to take a dog from America to Scotland. Pet travel from the United States to the United Kingdom. Scotland, Wales, derpy derp. Carefully read all of the requirements related to your pet on this page. Dogs, cats, and ferrets. Okay. Step 1. Identification with microchip. Dogs, cats, and ferrets must be individually identified by an ISO-compliant microchip. If the pet does not have a microchip, the pet will need to travel with a microchip reader that can read the microchip, or contact the veterinary officials at the intended port of arrival to verify that they have a reader capable of reading the pet's microchip, or if a non-ISO compatible microchip was previously implanted and can still be read, then the veterinarian can implant an ISO compatible microchip, blah 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 blah. Important health certificate note. When recording the date of implantation and or reading the microchip transponder healthcare certificate, it must be on or before the date of the primary rabies vaccination. I was gonna say they're probably gonna want her to get vaccinated. Rabies vaccine requirements. Pets arriving in the UK that do not meet the UK's requirements may be refused entry or quarantined upon arrival at owner's expense. Anti-rabies vaccine must be administered by an authorized veterinarian. All pets must wait at least 21 days or the time designated by the rabies vaccine manufacturer prior to leaving to the port of entry. Some vaccine manufacturers recommend waiting 30 days for the pet to gain immunity. All owners or pet coordinators must ask the veterinarian to confirm the manufacturer's recommended time frame. Blah blah blah. After a primary rabies vaccination, the pet must wait at least 21 days to be eligible to enter the UK. The day of the vaccination is day 0. 21 countdown starts on day 1 and ends on day 21. When entering rabies vaccine validity dates on healthcare certificate, rabies vaccination table, 21 days after the primary vaccination was administered. For a valid booster rabies vaccination, blah blah blah. For primary rabies vaccination on the rabies vaccination table, validity of vaccination from the date entered should be at least 21 days. So you have to get the dog vaccinated with rabies a minimum of 21 days before the dog is supposed to enter the UK. If the pet is less than 15 weeks old, it must be vaccinated for rabies and complete its immunity period before the entry into the UK. Otherwise, the pet is not eligible to enter the UK. Okay, these dogs are less than 15 weeks old because they were born on January 8th. So, January 8th. So 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh no, they're way over. Way over. Okay, never mind. They're way over 15 weeks. Microchip implant requirements. Rabies vaccination must occur the same day as or after microchip implantation. Any rabies vaccination occurring before a microchip is implanted is invalid. Holy crap! Remember, the number and the implantation dates of both microchips must be documented on the UK's health certificate, and at least one of the microchips must have been implanted before the pet's most recent rabies vaccine. Microchip implantation is considered the primary rabies vaccination is only valid for 1 year. If a pet travels more than 12 months after the first rabies vaccination after microchip implantation, the pet must have written documentation confirming that a rabies vaccine booster was given within 12 months when it travels to the UK. Rabies vaccine certificate. A hard copy of applicable rabies vaccination certificate must accompany the pet to the UK, regardless of the format the administering veterinarian used to issue the rabies certificate, handwritten, computer-generated, etc. The following information must be included on every rabies vaccination certificate and must match the information on the healthcare certificate. Correct microchip number, manufacturer name of the rabies vaccine, full name of the rabies vaccine spelled out completely. We recommend that you also add the manufacturer's recommended immunity period to facilitate the validity date calculation of the vaccine table in the health certificate. Have a USDA accredited veterinarian or military veterinarian issues complete and sign the UK health certificate. Health certificate for pets. 2 different health certificates for pets. The health certificate will be issued. The health certificate will be used will depend on the number of animals traveling, whether or not the pet is traveling within 5 days before or after the owner or designated person, and whether the pet will change ownership or is intended for resale in the UK. Non-commercial health certificate is for 5 or less pets traveling to the UK within 5 days of the owner or designated person, or 6 or more privately owned pets that are more than 6 months old traveling in a group to the UK to participate in competitions, exhibitions, sporting events, blah 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 blah. After the pet's USDA accredited veterinarian has completed and signed the EU UK health certificate, have the pet's completed health certificate endorsed by your USDA APHIS Veterinary Services Endorsement Office. Holy crap! For non-commercial health certificates, this endorsement must occur within 10 days of your pet's arrival in the UK. For non-commercial health certificates, this endorsement can happen at any time after the USDA accredited veterinarian signs a certificate. Good Lord. Tapeworm treatment, dogs only. Tapeworm treatment is required for dogs traveling to the United Kingdom, Ireland, Scotland, Wales. Dogs must be treated by a USDA accredited veterinarian between 24 and 120 hours, 1 and 5 days before entering these countries. The medication must be labeled as an effective treatment against tapeworm, specifically Echinococcus multilocularis. Multilocularis. My goodness. So anyway, you have to have like a whole bunch of health certificates. The dog has to get vaccinated for rabies, has to have a chip, and that is what it takes to get a dog from the United States to Scotland. Is there an actual answer besides all of this? Is the requirements. You can do it, but this is the requirements. They're going to make you go through all this stuff to do it. So she should have time to get all that done if you guys get it done soon. If she wants to. Fax it now, be past waiting period, then she goes home. Just doesn't sound right telling someone to jab a needle into. I know. So far the pups are like, they haven't had anything. They haven't had any shots. Normalizing microchips. I know. The animal, everything they do with the animals is like what they want to do with us. They do it with the animals first to make us used to the idea, and then they do it to us. Dog cooties. Yeah. Well, so now you know what it takes. Boy, they make you do a lot of stuff to take an animal to the UK. What a pain in the butt. Yeah, I mean, it can be done. It can be done. It's just, you gotta do all that stuff. So there you go. Now you know, and knowing is half the battle. I saw this post on X this morning, and I actually thought it was a pretty good post. Absolute truth. In 1917, Rudolf Steiner predicted vaccines will destroy people's souls. More than 100 years ago, Rudolf Steiner wrote the following: eliminate the soul with medicine. In the future, we will eliminate the soul with the medicine. Under the pretext of a healthy point of view, there will be a vaccine by which the human body will be treated as soon as possible directly at birth, so that the human being cannot develop the thought of the existence of soul and spirit. To materialistic doctors, we will be entrusted the task of removing the soul of humanity. As today, people are vaccinated against the disease of that disease, so in the future, children will be vaccinated with a substance that can be produced precisely in such a way that people, thanks to this vaccination, will be immune to being the subject to the madness of spiritual life. He would be extremely smart, but he would not develop a conscience, and that is the true goal of some materialistic circles. With such a vaccine, You can easily make the etheric body loose in the physical body. Once the etheric body is detached, the relationship between the universe and the etheric body would become extremely unstable, and man would become an automation, for the physical body of man must be polished on this earth by spiritual will. So the vaccine becomes a kind of harmonic force, Aramanic force. Men can no longer get rid of a given materialistic feeling. He becomes materialistic of constitution and can no longer rise to the spiritual. Vaccines are part of the spiritual warfare against the children of God. Crazy, right? The original rabies experiments were very questionable. There should be an exemption. Well, I think, okay, from what I was reading, if you don't have a rabies vaccination, then they'll make you quarantine the dog. So let's see, let's reopen that window we just had. So pets arriving in the UK that do not meet the UK's requirements may be refused entry or quarantined upon arrival at the owner's expense. So they could charge her money to like keep the dog, somewhere for like a week or 2 weeks or however long they feel that the dog needs to be quarantined, and then they'll give it to her after, when the dog shows up not sick. That would kind of suck too. And there's no test for rabies, right? Not one that you can take on an animal that's alive. Because it's BS, but Let's see. Rabies can be diagnosed through laboratory tests, but these are typically performed on brain tissue after the animal has died. There are no reliable tests to diagnose rabies in living humans before symptoms appear, making early treatment crucial after potential exposure. So, there's no test to diagnose rabies in living humans before symptoms appear. So basically, you get symptoms, and then they go, "Oh, did you get bit by an animal?" And then if you say yes, well, then it's rabies. And if you say no, then it's something else. So they don't really have a test for rabies. Yeah. It's kind of BS, right? It's total BS. That's before you figure out how much it costs and will your airline accommodate animals, yeah. I recall in the late 90s there was a push to have elementary age children have microchips in their person or in their shoes. Yeah. Rabid animals are extremely hydrophobic. Golden Compass movie is also about separating spirit from the body. Pastor's rabies deception. There's a couple Substacks about it. Is this what you're talking about? Louis Pasteur's rabies investigation began in the late 1800s. However, his initial attempts to establish the etiology of rabies were unsuccessful, as described by the Pasteur Institute. Louis Pasteur's initial efforts to isolate the rabies virus proved unsuccessful as the virus remained invisible. Pasteur did not give up. In his book, The Private Science of Louis Pasteur, Gerald Geisen describes how Pasteur utilized a hit-or-miss approach: inject a variety of animals with a wide range of substances and then watched what happened. Pasteur's frustration becomes evident in the notebook pages devoted specifically to efforts to find a vaccine against rabies. Charting through the Byzantine maze of Pasteur's early laboratory notes on rabies, one eventually realizes that his basic procedure was simply to inject a variety of experimental animals, though mainly rabbits, with a wide range of cultures or substances, and then watch what happened. Eventually, he discovered a successful method. Pasteur would use the nervous tissue from a diseased animal and inject it directly into the brain of a healthy animal through a hole drilled into its skull. Oh my god. It's super expensive, almost impossible to import or export livestock anywhere. Yeah. Talk about the Mandela effect or how atoms are fake. Well, I've talked about how atoms are fake. Stephen A. Young talks about how atoms are fake. Not really fake, but that the base unit, you can't see it, so it's like, it's all theory, really. Anyway. But as rabies is a disease of the nervous system, together with Emile Roux, Louis Pasteur then had the idea of inoculating part of a rabid dog's brain directly into another dog's brain. The inoculated dog subsequently died. The experiment was then conducted on rabbits, as the risk for the experimentalists was less than with rabid dogs. The microbe of rabies has not been isolated as yet, but judging by analogy, we must believe in its existence. Oh! This highly invasive methodology did not reflect how an animal would presumably acquire the disease in the natural world. According to Dr. G. Archie Stockwell in 1886, it was not surprising that the animals became diseased, because such an inoculation is invariably intended with consequences to the creature operated on, with paralysis as a frequent complication. No hypothetical pathogen required. Every physiologist or pathologist knows that intradural inoculation, the means employed by Pasteur to secure infected spinal cords, even of the simplest septic or aseptic product, is almost invariably attended with the consequences most grave to the creature so operated upon. Naturally, paralysis most frequently follows, yet it is the evidence of paralysis upon which Pasteur so confidently relies on his diagnosis of rabies. If an opening be made in the cranium of the dog or the rabbit directly over the nerve centers, and the nervous system of either is much more impressible than that of a man, and a drop of pus, blood, or bouillon introduced into the submeningeal space, the miracle would be if the creature did not speedily develop a paralysis of facial muscles and posterior extremities. How sad. Pasteur's neglect of controls in his animal experiments was noted by Dr. Thomas M. Dolan in his 1886 article entitled Mr. Pasteur's Prophylactic. Control experiments were neglected. Shall I go on? So here's a guy. This guy was a critic of particularly critical of Louis Pasteur. In order to disprove Pasteur, Spitzik conducted experiments to show that foreign substances injected into the brain would cause inflammatory disturbances, the symptoms of which would be identical to those of rabies. He injected into the brains of dogs varied substances such as calf tissue and even soap. Oh my god. Poor dogs. Of 6 healthy dogs inoculated, 5 have died. Some portions of the spinal cord of a healthy calf and other substances were introduced into their brains. Oh my god. The method of demonstrating rabies by direct inoculation of the brain is fallacious. The symptoms of hydrophobia can be produced in healthy dogs by introducing non-rabic foreign substances into their skull cavities. So, I am not aware that anyone has yet isolated the microbe of hydrophobia. What purports to be such is also found in the healthy dog. There is besides no symptom of hydrophobia that may not be produced in dogs inoculated with decayed fluids, the spinal cord of a calf, or with soap, or with olive oil injected into the circulation. Ugh. In plain language, the inflammation of the brain, set up by the placing of a foreign substance under the skull and in contact with the brain matter, is sufficient to account for all the symptoms displayed by dogs experimented on and commonly pronounced those of genuine rabies. That's gnarly. Man, humans do some messed up stuff. How did a dog become paralyzed after the rabies vax had to put her down? Aww. Cammy said the Catholic Church came out hard against the films. Which films? You mean the Conclave movie? Shelters full in the UK after lockdown. People were paying big money to buy dogs at that time, but then later didn't want them. Oh, that's so sad. Snuck in their dog. There was a famous person. It will come up if you Google it. I'm just asking before searching who that was, who was in the big court battle because of it. Oh, that sounds familiar, but I don't know. Bill Gates. Amber Heard. Hail, Ben. And Zach. Science sucks sometimes, yeah, right? A house cat gets the same amount of rabies vaccine that a 100-pound dog gets. Huh. I haven't had to get anything. My Remington got vaccinated, but I haven't gotten any of my animals vaccinated. Well, so what is it then? It's gotta be, like, they're saying, I was reading another Substack that was about rabies. Let me see if I can find it. I think I shared it in Telegram. Because it's like, we know viruses are BS, right? But then you gotta wonder, okay, well, when things happen that they blame on said virus that is most likely BS, well, what is actually going on there? You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Oh, here we go. The rabies scam. This one I was looking at too. And then they have one that, you know, animals rush to go take it out. Humans rush to go take it after they are bitten by an animal. Those who suffer adverse events or death are counted as a rabies death. Therefore, it is impossible to find fault with the vaccine. Rabies virus. Even before the creation of life-saving rabies vaccine, the medicine men were selling cures. These remedies consisted of hair of the dog that bit you being chewed and swallowed by the bite victim, as well as mad stone treatment, in which a rock was rubbed all over the area of the bite to draw out the madness. There was also a piece of the king's clothing, and if you're lucky enough to get this cure, just holding it was enough to save you. Later, a cockroach cure was discovered, as well as my absolute favorite cure, which was ground up jawbone of a donkey or dog, plus a piece of colt's tongue, and the green rust off a penny of George the First. If your scavenger hunt resulted in obtaining all of these items, you are 100% protected. Yes, this is real, and guess what? History says these cures successfully kept rabies out of New York for 20 years. So, what is rabies? In both animals and humans, rabies is identified as one of the following symptoms: lethargy, fever, vomiting, anorexia, ataxia, weakness, paralysis, seizures, difficulty breathing, difficulty swallowing, excessive salivation, abnormal behavior, aggression, self-mutilation, fever, difficulty swallowing, excessive drooling, foaming at the mouth, and more. Or none. A rabid animal might not have symptoms at all. In humans, it's rabies only if the symptoms occur after being bitten or scratched by an animal. So let's say tomorrow morning you wake up and you suddenly have difficulty swallowing. Were you bitten by an animal? If you answered no, you probably have herpes. If you say, yeah, I was feeding a squirrel a peanut and one bit me by accident, then yes, 100% for sure it's rabies and you need a vaccine. Now that you understand how it works, let's dive into some of the craziest shit you've ever heard, all in the name of stopping the spread of rabies. Yeah, so back to talking about Louis Pasteur discovered the rabies virus by drilling holes into laboratory dog skulls and injecting them with what he suspected to be rabies virus. The dogs became rabid, meaning they displayed some symptoms from the massive list of basically every symptom, and boom, proof of the rabies virus. But if you were doubting Mr. Pasteur's study, according to a different rabies specialist, you should have a 100% success rate infecting animals with rabies virus if you inject it specifically into their brain. Not just the skull, pinpoint that brain. If your brain injection does not produce rabies, you're doing it wrong. Oh boy. In several hundred experimental intracerebral inoculations with non-attenuated rabies virus, I have never before failed to infect the animal with rabies. So clearly rabies is very dangerous and must be stopped before everyone dies. It was becoming glaringly obvious the only solution to fight rabies was a big pharma payday or a vaccine. Am I still streaming? Okay, just wondering if YouTube killed my stream or not yet. Might have rabies. Virus are more like a fungus. That's what I'm saying. They could be a fungus or they could be a bacteria. Some of these things are bacteria. Tetanus shot at 16. Felt like I had something solid in there for weeks. That's crazy. I've not vaxxed any of my dogs ever. Definitely went through parvo. I think my puppies made it through without getting any parvo. They're good. Parasites. It's probably not a mechanism for the body to effectively deal with foreign materials in the brain like that, so they get what they call rabies. Yeah, I mean, if you're injecting foreign material into your brain, that sounds like a bad idea. Anyway, why would you ever do that? I don't agree with the virus being fake. I just don't think it's characterized correctly. The postulates are not well done. My neighbor had to get the rabies shots in the stomach. $10,000? $1,000? $10K for the shots? And you don't even need it. Virus means poison. Exactly. The rabies has aborted fetal cells. Ew. That's terrible. Yuck. So domestic animals need injection, but wild can have vaccine dose bait. Yeah, I don't know. What are they feeding them? I do because last month they had to report the first, yeah, right, person to have rabies and be told, yep, you are going to die, but she made it a 20-year-old Mexican woman. "21 shots for a rabies shot? For humans?" Rabies post-exposure prophylaxis. Wound washing, human rabies immunoglobulin, and a 4-dose series of vaccines. People with a confirmed or suspected immune disorder require a 5th dose of the vaccine and serological confirmation that an adequate response to vaccination occurred. The Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices develops the U.S. recommendations about how to use vaccines to prevent disease in the United States, including how to prevent rabies in people. Rabies PEP consists of wound washing, a dose of human rabies immunoglobulin, and rabies vaccine given at the time of your first medical visit, and a dose of vaccine given again on days 3, 7, and 14 after the first dose. Pregnancy is not a contraindication for rabies PEP, and exposure to rabies or rabies diagnosis in the mother does not require pregnancy termination. For people who have never been vaccinated against rabies, you get both the HRIG and rabies vaccine. The combination of HRIG and the vaccine is recommended for both bite and non-bite exposures. 2 doses of vaccine 3 days apart. Human rabies immune globulin. Jeez. So it's a series of 4 shots, and a 5th dose if they like you a lot. Intramuscularly in the deltoid area. Never be administered in the gluteal area. Oof. In Canada, they give the deer pellets for rabies. 21 shots in the belly. Well, this is not what this says. I think you guys are not right about that. I would be curious what the aqua cure would do to rabies. It worked wonders on parvo, and rabies you become super hydrophobic. Yeah, I don't know. You didn't have to get the shots? Well, that's good. Open the phone. The ingredient MRC-5 is human aborted fetal cells. Yeah. Okay, I open the phone. Can I call in about my rescue of 6 puppies and mother in Nepal, then bringing to U.S.? Sure. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen. You feel like hearing my story time about my puppy rescue in Nepal?
Yes.
Oh, it was wild. It's a wild story. Settle in. I sent you some pictures to go along with it too in the email. Anyway, I was living in a little village called Sunakoti, and I had 2 street dog friends that would come over for breakfast every day. It was a female that I named Sunoli, and her son, adult son, that had always stayed with her, I was told by the neighbors, that I named Goldie. And one day when they came over, I noticed Sunoli just couldn't stop panning. And I was checking her out, and I realized, oh, crap, you're really pregnant. And I had, I started watching her to see where she was going and stuff, and I saw her jumping up onto the farmer's brick wall that goes around his field across the street from my house and into the field. And that farming family had built like a den for her out of corn husks up against one of the brick walls of the field. And they apparently had done this in anticipation of her having the puppies.
Wow.
So I thought that was cool. So I just kind of watched this unfold, both fascinated about that, how a street dog would give birth, but also this farming family and how they were kind of interacting with the whole thing. I was surprised that they cared, because there's so many street dogs everywhere, and I thought it would be a nuisance for their farm or something, but they were caring for her. So anyway, one night at about, I had a 2-story house. One night at about like 1 in the morning, I start hearing a dog howling in pain. And so I jumped up and looked out the window, and I could tell it was coming from that den. I could tell it was Sunoli. And so I actually listened to her giving birth, and super early in the morning, it was daylight, but it was dawn. All of a sudden she was over at my front door, and that surprised me. I opened the door, and she'd never been inside my house before. She comes barreling into the house and right up the stairs for some reason, and expelled the rest of the afterbirth, which was kind of gross, but that's what she did. I fed her a bunch of meat, and she gobbled that up and ran back over, and I watched her jump the fence and back into the den. So, yeah, I watched her do this stuff for about 4 weeks, and then one day I hear all of the puppies screaming. Go to the window, and that farmer's mother, who's in her 80s, she's out there with a metal rod digging the puppies out of the den and throwing them overhand over the wall into the street.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I was like, oh, fuck no. So I go running over there and make her stop. But there are 3 of them just like dazed and confused in the street, and the other 3 were not thrown yet. So I ended up taking 6 puppies and the mother into my house. I had 7 dogs in my house.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I didn't really have a yard. It was just like a postage stamp yard. So, I mean, I really had 7 dogs in my house. So you're lucky that you have land.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was like, oh, crap. What am I going to do? How am I ever going to adopt these out? Because the whole country of Nepal is just filled with dogs, street dogs. No one's going to take these. And then what am I going to do? Anyway, I started taking photos and started doing research, and finally found an organization called Animal Nepal, and so they helped me post my pictures and stuff. One of my Nepali friends, Aditya, he took one of them, and I knew I was going to take one, so I had to get rid of 4. And what ended up happening was when I couldn't take it anymore, I mean, that I had them for a few weeks, and oh my God, 7 dogs.
Yeah.
Inside the house.
Mm-hmm.
So Animal Nepal took them, but they made me sign something saying that I fully understand if they aren't successful, they put them down. But that's what I did, and I told them I didn't want to know.
Mm.
But I couldn't do anything else.
Yeah, I know, man. It's hard.
Yeah, especially in a place like that. I mean, you were talking about your county being full of dogs. Oh, I'm sure you got nothing on Nepal. It's crazy sad. They're everywhere.
It does sound worse. But yeah, there's lots of dogs running around here. I don't know if you remember, but there's like a pack of dogs that came and killed all my chickens. He just came out front. I don't even know where they came from. So yeah, it is bad here too. But yeah, Nepal does sound worse.
So in the midst of all of this, I was thinking back to, I'm pretty sure I actually watched these puppies being conceived. I know that sounds crazy, but one morning at the right, I looked up the amount of time it takes to gestate puppies, and it worked out. There was a dog rape scene that I woke up to one morning.
Oh my God.
In that same field. So I was making coffee right after I got up, nice sunny morning, and I'm looking out the window as I'm making the coffee because I hear all this commotion in the field, and there's a pack of street dogs, and they're all ganging up on my Sunoli, like literally gang raping her. And there was a dead dog laying amongst them, so they were like fighting over her. It was just like this brutal scene. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm going to just pretend I didn't see any of that. And just walked away from the window.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that's how my Gus, that's what I ended up naming the puppy that I kept. That's how he was conceived. Out of a brutal rape scene. Anyway, let's see, what else was I going to tell you? Oh yeah, so my friend Aditya, who took Gus's sister, I had trepidation about it, but I figured, at least one of them's going to get a chance. I had trepidation because he lived up in the foothills of the Himalayas, and I could tell had no dog experience and was extremely poor. And the dog would be living outside with wild animals, and sure enough, it got attacked once, and then about 9 months later, it got taken, they think, by a leopard. Leopards take lots of dogs in Nepal, so I think that's what happened to one of them.
Oh my gosh.
So, yeah, crazy story. So then I decided, we ended up moving to Kathmandu, Gus and I did, and one of the street dogs in our neighborhood, so like I said, there's street dogs everywhere you go, but they all have their territories. So in this territory, there's a street dog who she and I took a liking to each other on day one. I knew her just on the streets for about 3 years. Gus and I moved a couple miles away after that, and she got pissed off and ended up coming and living in our house, and now she lives in the United States with us. So I moved 2 dogs when I came back here from Nepal to the U.S. and had to go through everything that you were just reading about.
Wow.
To bring them here. And now these two are laying right here and staring at me, wondering why I'm talking about them.
Oh, well, they're so cute.
Yeah, they're good. But anyway, if was it Liz that was talking about bringing one home?
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be done, Liz. It's a lot, but it can be done. They had to get pet passports. They had to get all their shots, which I didn't want to do, but I had to.
Yeah.
They forced me to microchip them, like you were saying. They're microchipped. But there was no quarantine at all coming into the U.S.
Well, if you got them all their shots and stuff, then they shouldn't need it.
Yeah. I was just surprised. I thought the U.S. would be hard asses about it, but they weren't.
Well, that's cool.
And this all happened. Yeah, this all happened in February of 2020, which is an interesting time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually why I came back.
Wow.
Because I lived about 45 minutes outside of China, and I knew some shit was going to happen, but I didn't know how bad it would be. And I just thought, I don't think I want to be in Nepal for it. So that's kind of what drove us back. But anyway, yeah, no quarantine. I think the UK is way more strict than the US, though.
They could be. Well, it only says that they're going to quarantine the dog if it doesn't have the shots, if it doesn't have the proper vaccine documentation and all that.
Oh, so they actually would they would allow her to not give the dog shots if she elects to do that, but they have to quarantine them?
Yeah, but at her expense. Who knows how expensive it would be and how long they would make the dog quarantine for, but I mean, that's what
surprising.
It looks like. But it also said that it could be refused entry. It said the animal could be refused entry or quarantined at the owner's expense. So.
Yeah. Well, these two haven't had a single shot since in the 5 years we've been back. But yeah, they had to get them all to get them out of there.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's my fun puppy rescue story.
All right, well, that's cool. Thank you for calling in.
Sure. See you later.
All right, bye. Man. Better to feed them dogs and have them come into town and take small children or something. I need a digital copy of a FE map. Where did you get yours? Which one? Which FE map? The Gleasons? Or what? Because if you're talking about, I mean, some of them I have a bunch of different versions. Paying a fortune to get her 3 kitties back and forth to US, UK. Oh, I know. And they weren't traveling with her. It was like a separate deal. I saw elephant's dog doing it in a zoo. Almost got a squirrel yesterday. Quarantined until 21 days after they give them shots there. Probably. A still grill version of the AE map? Ooh, that's cool. That'd be cool. Which one is the most accurate between land masses? Well, I'm assuming you mean the AE map. I mean, I don't know. The AE map seems to be pretty relatively close. But It's hard to judge accuracy when you're zoomed all the way out and you can see the world in its entirety. We are way too tiny to decipher the difference between that and like walking down the block. Like I don't think people get how much distortion could actually be going on between when you look at a local map and navigate locally versus the whole map at one time. It's like there's no way it could be completely accurate. It would have to be like just as far as time. Grills for fire anchors. Grills for fire anchors that will be for sale soon. I have my opinions only, and it's not the standard AE map. Yeah, I mean, you know, just whatever you want to use it for, it's whatever map you like. Whatever map you like. Thumbs up, y'all, please, and thank you. Yes, Jay, thank you. But yeah, you can just look up Gleason map images. There was one place where I found where it was like a download you could get, and it was high res. It's like this. Okay. So here you go, full resolution. I am not a robot. Bicycles. Download. Let's see what it looks like. That's pretty good high resolution. It's got this little nub on it though. I like to find it without that. Let's see. Did I misspell something? Probably. Oh, yeah. NS60's azimuthal map. Request an azimuthal map. This is weird. I don't know what this is. You might be able to get some stuff off Wikipedia. You get this off Wikipedia, you could download it. Thank you, Jeff. Geolocation, I have an idea that I'm working on. Well, then you can just get the map off Wikipedia. You have difficulty with I'm Not a Robot? Apparently Peggy Hall did too. Yeah. It kind of seems like there's probably distortion in the north, just like there's distortion in the south. You know, we discussed a lot of that stuff before, but it kind of got put on the back burner. But now Cammie says she's feeling better, so we may start diving back into that again. Upturned edges. I don't know. So anyway, oh, this is not the one I was looking at. Where's the, is this it? This one. Destruction of predatory animals. So that's when they started slaughtering wolves to get rid of rabies. It must first be slaughtered. This means wolves, coyotes, and predatory animals who were to be mass executed were never proven to be sick to begin with. And this entire extermination plan was based on some farm animals falling ill. So, nobody can find rabies. So, but then what makes animals behave in a way that makes people think that they have rabies? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the cause of those symptoms if it's not rabies? Can be attributed to malnutrition, maltreatment, or in many cases both. After receiving the not one case of rabies appeared in any quarantined dog ever, and over a decade later, none had appeared. In fact, not a single quarantined dog died, and 100% of their symptoms subsided. All the rabies in the case of animals which cause animals to behave violently or crazily can be attributed to malnutrition, maltreatment, or in many cases both. What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Ben? Is it malnutrition? Here's a few utterly shocking examples of horror caused by rabies vaccines. Blah, blah, blah. A male man was attacked by a dog. However, the dog's teeth did not puncture his skin, so he chose not to get a rabies vaccine, and he remained in perfect health until his employer forced him to get vaccinated. Within 1 month of the injection, severe symptoms of rabies set in, accompanied by extreme pain at the injection site. 2 days after the symptoms appeared, he died of paralytic hydrophobia, which meant he died of rabies. In another case, a young woman's parents saw a bite mark on her neck. Under questioning, the woman told her parents she was bit by a dog. Out of fear of rabies, her parents rushed her to get the vaccine. She became violently ill and died. After the funeral, her parents discovered that the bite mark was not from a dog, but was instead from a young man the woman was secretly frolicking with. It's not just humans who die from these injections. Oh. Despite no cases of rabies on record beginning around the 1970s, most states in the USA were convinced by rabies vaccine lobbyists to begin requiring rabies shots for dogs within the first 3 to 4 months of life. It was then realized that there was a wealth of money to be made off pets, so states also began requiring tagging and licensing, of course. malnourished would not fit very well to you. That's what I'm saying. Like it seems weird. There must be something. What of Old Yeller? Pig dog. Starvation. We need Cammy on a bitch's brew if you ever do another one. Yeah, I just have to schedule it, but it's also like the busy time of year. I'm sorry that I suck at scheduling things so bad. Yeah, that's why Cammy and I were gonna get together and make a video, because I know how to make videos. So we were gonna work on some stuff. Hydrophobic is the biggest signature. So what can cause hydrophobia? You know, what causes hydrophobia? I worked at a place that did rabies testing, and they told us horror stories. We never gave our pets vaccinations. Rottweiler lived to 15, Appenzeller 16. Our kitty lived to almost 25. Yeah, my dad, Remy, had all kinds of vaccinations. He had everything. Poor Rem. 76 days with the first rabies survivor. I just adopted a dog out of the woods that was starving, and it was sure grateful and didn't act weird, right? So it makes me wonder if they just eat something that makes them sick. You know what I'm saying? Like, they must eat something bad, you know? I don't know. That would be my guess. Because if they're wild animals, they probably just ate, like you said, maybe something that has a fungus. Because there's these weird funguses that like take over insects and take over their, you know, makes them a zombie. So maybe they eat some weird, it could be some weird fungus that they eat. When you see the word virus below, you can replace it with the word poison. I mean, virus means poison. You guys know that, right? Poisonous substance. A sense now archaic, right? Pus, thin fluid discharged from a wound or sore. Virus, poison, poisonous liquid. Sap of plants, slimy liquid. But in the 1790s, the scientism co-opted the word virus and turned it into meaning a contagion of an infectious disease. Venereal disease. Ugh. Venom, poison. Poison. Fungus absolutely can control people. But like eating a spoiled dead animal, something like botulism, yeah. The local blacksmith passed away, so I adopted his dog. As soon as we got home, he made a bolt for the door. Oh. ADV did a video on it, and I think eating something is what she said triggered whatever it is. I mean, it makes sense. Fungus will not reproduce. It even have its own body without a host. It can't have its own body without a host. Rose. Hello, Rose. I think I'm being controlled by fungus right now. Thank you for calling Coffee Talk. You're on with Karen B.
Hey, Karen, it's Stephanie.
Hi.
We've talked before.
Huh?
We've talked before.
Okay.
I'm hoping this one's more pleasant. I like the subject of rabies because it's something I've been worried about since I was a child. My mother made sure that I had that phobia. In her defense, she did grow up in a time where that was being brought forth. Sorry, I have a toddler here. Can you tell?
Uh-huh.
Anyway, in Canada, the New Brunswick area, they had a outbreak of humans having some brain issues. So it was like a cluster in that area. But they also found out that just before that started, that they had decided to do a rabies abatement in the wildlands around that area by dropping bait out. So I don't know how it works that they can have something that must be injected versus you can eat it.
I don't either.
So I'm like, well, if they've got one that's supposed to be effective for animals that you can take orally, why don't they have something like that for humans? If it's real, I'm saying they could work their way into that. Seems like the science. Anyway, with all that in my creative mind, I just recently spoke with a doctor who said, yes, Alzheimer's is a prion disease. So it's something they've kind of kept it separate. You can get Alzheimer's and dementia, but that's not the CJD or the mad cow. They had always had a line between it, and I think that line is getting blurred. And the timing they say that it takes for rabies to show first symptoms varies from days to months. That's a weird one.
Yeah.
I guess it could be location of bite. Huh?
I said, or it might not ever have symptoms.
Right, because they only can prove it after death. Well, I live in Oklahoma, which is pretty well known for wildlife and spread out areas. And a couple of years ago, may have been 3, there was a rabid squirrel or a rabid skunk running around. Okay, and I think every county puts out, if you come across an animal that's sick like this, don't approach it, don't let it bite you, eradicate if you can. Well, they don't take it seriously because a rabid squirrel or a rabid skunk, was dispatched. Didn't need to keep it around. And the county authorities were called. Hey, look, probably need to know about this in this county, that there may be some rabies moving about. They didn't give 2 shits. They said, so, throw it away. And I'm like, well, that's not the education that they have been telling everybody for years, is if you come across one, bag it, because they have to test the head and all that stuff. So some care, some don't. Maybe they don't have a person on the right payroll here or something. I don't know. I still think that rabies is still a form of prion disease, and they just haven't figured it out yet. Or they're hiding it like they do know Alzheimer's is a prion disease.
Yeah.
And then, ready to activate a new fear? The CJD Foundation is well funded by Bill Gates. And even though the gain of function thing should have been turned off a long time ago, they're still using it to test the prions, to infect animals so that they can say, this is the protein we find, to test it so we know that they're positive or whatever, like the science part. But they used gain of function to infect pigs. Okay, previously pigs didn't have this in their repertoire. This is a gain of function. It's made another species susceptible to the disease. And of course, they pick a food animal.
Yeah, just like they're doing with chickens.
Well, they just haven't been overly. I really think that once you can take something as dangerous as that and put it across into another species, and it being a staple, lots of people eat pork.
Right.
Bacon. There you go. I see.
Wow, this is crazy. I was trying to find the ingredients to this rabies bait that they put out, and they don't tell you what's in it. It just says
No.
product not listed, or substance not listed. Substance
Right.
not listed.
Does it show where they did the drops from in New Brunswick? What happened?
No, I didn't look at that. I just wanted to see if I could find out what was in the bait. Like, what is the difference between the vaccine and the bait? And I thought, well, it's probably going to be, maybe you could find what they put in the bait. What is it that they're feeding animals? And they don't tell you. That's crazy.
Yeah, because if you can just drop it out of a plane to feed whatever's out in the woods, why can't we just give the tablet to the dogs? Like, why are our dogs required an injection? And why is the injection the same for a 5-pound dog as it for a 105-pound dog? How does that calculate?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the same with humans, too. We give the little babies the same shots they give adults.
Not this one here with me. Anyway, I guess long-term worries about prions and Alzheimer's, because it's kind of a family tradition. So that got me on the path of looking, am I in line for this lovely memory loss thing at a certain age? Because, I'd like to do some things to prevent it if I could. And I guess the research into it and finding out that the same disease that Robin Williams had, Lewy body, is a prion disease. The same one that Bruce Willis has, FTD, prion disease. Oh, and now Wendy Williams. She's also flipped her lid and been sequestered out of the public eye for the same thing. So Bruce Willis, Robin Williams, and Wendy Williams. Thy will be done. Apparently everybody's brain's being eaten by prions.
That's weird.
Well, I mean, they're not exactly announcing it. You have to do the research to find out it's not
what
just
is
an early onset something.
What's a prion?
Something is a prion is a misshapen, misfolded protein. That's how they describe it. So instead of curling to the left, it curls to the right, and it screws everything up. Okay. And the way it's infectious is one prion around proteins changes the shape of the other proteins around it. So they get these big voids in the brain. You've heard of the spongiform encephalitis. So there's the human form, and there's the cow form, and there's a sheep form, and the chronic wasting disease in deer, that's another ruminid form. And the fact that they moved it over into pigs just pisses me off. What? Mad scientists?
Huh.
They made humanized mice, so mice with human genes for this testing. And also what they call human mini brains. Have you heard of this?
No.
So they use the HeLoc cell line and grow human brain cells in a petri dish so that they can then, watch the prions misfold or something. I don't know. I think they're all mad scientists.
Yeah.
It's just the idea that they moved it over into pigs.
Huh.
Hey, and how much of the pork supply in America is owned by China? Haven't they decided it's upwards of 80%?
Oh, I don't know. But I know,
I
yeah,
gotta
Chinese
tell you,
people
if
love
I had
pork.
a food source in another country I didn't care about, I wouldn't care if it was infected or not.
Well, I don't eat pig. I stopped eating pigs a long time ago, so I don't really
No
worry about
bacon
it.
for you, huh?
No. Mm-mm. Nope. I stopped eating that a long time ago.
And was your reason religious or just because biblically you're not supposed to eat pork?
Well, I kind of stopped eating it, that's part of it, but I kind of try to follow that diet, like what it says in scripture should be food and isn't food, and it actually, I think it is a good way to eat, but, I stopped doing it before that because I found out about all the parasites in pigs, and I learned about vertical farming, and it's just disgusting. Pigs are disgusting, and I just decided I didn't want to eat them anymore.
Yeah, they started out as the garbage cleanup, right? Throw it
Yeah.
outside, the pigs will eat it.
Yeah.
But it is definitely a protein staple for America. Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, who
In
can
the
have an
South
issue
here
without a
too.
ham?
In the South here too, because they love to eat barbecued pork.
Yep, pulled pork, ribs,
Yeah.
all of it. It's just such a staple.
Mhm.
And the idea that they would take a chance on, cross-contaminating the food supply, I guess money rules all. So sorry, he's an insistent little guy. I thank you for your time. I just wanted to bring that up. It's something that's been going on for a while.
Okay.
And maybe a few others could have a look around and see that the frequency in which some of these dementia things are coming about isn't normal.
Right.
And the uptick in the mental health funding, they know something's on the horizon.
Yeah. You know what also could be contributing to that is Ben was telling me something the other day that glyphosate chelates aluminum out of the soil, and so the food grown that gets sprayed with glyphosate has higher amounts of aluminum in it, and then people eat
Because
that.
it chelates the heavy metals.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anytime they spray Roundup on anything, it grabs the metals and takes it further down into the soil where the plant can't reach it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I thank you for your time.
All right, no problem.
Maybe some strange things to contemplate. Oh, yeah, and the CO2 thing. I really believe that if CO2 was the problem with climate change, the first thing they would have banned was Pepsi and Coke, because they produce the CO2 to make the product, and then every time you pop one open, you hear it release.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's bigger than cars? The amount of people that drink sodas.
Yeah.
So have a good day.
All right, thanks, you too. Pork will kill your liver. Pigs are chimera mix of man and boars. Makes sense then, Ted. What are you guys talking about? Hi, Ted. Sun's starting to peek out. Who's vaccine damaged? I don't look too puny. That's right, he doesn't look puny. He looks good to me. The gain of function idea lends credibility to the virus myth. Yeah, I don't know about gain of function. I think that is kind of BS too. Makes you wonder about Karen's cooking. Karen's cooking is just fine. Country ham is big here. Exactly. Avoid pork now since I discovered it's high in vitamin A. Horse shit is the only additive allowed in my garden. Need to start teaching the trivium. Only non-pork meat that is popular for breakfast seems to be steak. Anyone know of any others? Well, I do get these chicken sausages. They're like chicken breakfast sausages. I guess that's typically wouldn't be considered a breakfast meat, I guess, but why not? Why can't it be? Has Ted considered any other food challenges since completing the Bolton's challenge? No. No, he's not. He's not really a competitive eater. You think he's a competitive eater, because like if he sits down, it's like he eats everything, but he's not really a competitive eater. Turkey sausage ain't bad. Yeah. I've heard about people avoiding vitamin A. I don't really know entirely what that's all about, but I just don't even think about that. I don't think about that stuff. I just try to eat as clean as possible. I try to cook my meals. I buy ingredients, I don't buy prepackaged stuff. I do the best I can, you know what I'm saying? The Bolton challenge is the Bolton challenge here. Let's see if we can find it. It's where you get like a pound of fries and a 13 patty burger? Yeah, see right here. This is the challenge, the Bolton's challenge. This is what it looks like. So I think Ted is on here because he won. Let's see. Where's he at? Did I pass him already? But yeah, this is what it looks like. Looks like that. Failed. That guy ate it. That guy smashed it. Oh. There you go. That's the Bolton's challenge. So that you can get. They have bacon. I don't eat the bacon though. I do like the burger with the fried egg. That's delicious. Craving their burger with egg right now. Oh, I know. 13 patties. They're smash burgers. We have to put Bolton's on the calendar. Yes. I saw a tiny Asian competitive eater lady. She ate so fucking many Abel skeevers. It was insane. Like twice as many as the closest normal giant-sized dude. Wow. So crazy how KFC had admitted that they have human meat in their food by what they showed in their commercial. I don't remember what year. 13 smash patties, yeah. Yeah, but there's still 13 patties. So basically what they tell you is the oral rabies vaccine bait consists of liquid vaccine dyed pink inside a plastic packet or sachet. Excuse me. Which is coated with fish meal flavoring. Sachet resembles a small ketchup packet that contains about 1.5 ml of the vaccine. Oral rabies vaccine is produced by splicing the rabies virus glycoprotein gene and inserting glycoprotein gene and inserting it into a non-pathogenic vaccinia virus by genetic manipulation. Thus, the vaccine does not contain live rabies virus, cannot cause rabies, blah blah blah. So that's what they put in it. Some weird mutated gene thing that they make. Good God. They are like mad scientists, aren't they? All these psychos making stuff that they want to inject into your veins. It's insanity. Pronounced Abel Skeevers. Did I? Could scarf down a whole 16-inch pizza back then. Can't eat more than 1/4 of one now. It's probably not good for you. I mean, you know, Ted's got a pretty high metabolism and he's always moving, so it kind of makes sense. He's always doing something. It makes sense why he would eat a lot. And he's a big dude. A big muscular dude. And big muscular dudes need a lot of protein. When do we get to be called a different species as much as they're mutating people? Pff, I don't know. Apparently. I don't know. Probably not far away from that. So anyway, that is the scoop on rabies. Boy, that was a rabies deep dive we went into, didn't it? In it. Are you guys all bumping Kanye West's new number one hit, Heil Hitler? Have you seen all the retards on X singing Heil Hitler now? It's insane to me. Trying to make or propagate the very gods that will save them. Egg yolks high in vitamin A. I love me some egg yolks. I love eggs. I love eggs. Pandemonium. Look up why vultures can eat rotten meat. Humans can eat rotten meat too. Did you know that? Vultures can eat rotten meat because they have a highly acidic stomachs that can digest harmful bacteria and pathogens found in decaying flesh. Additionally, they have evolved a unique microbiome that helps them tolerate and even utilize these bacteria for digestion. Yeah, I think I've heard that before. They have like highly acidic stomachs. Bacteria like anthrax or the bubonic plague and the rabies virus, all of which can cause severe illness in humans and animals, don't pose any threat. Oh, so vultures are immune to the rabies? Aren't they lucky? Can I eat vulture? Ew. Staying very far away from this white power movement that's being pushed. It's crazy. It's kind of crazy seeing what's going on. Hey, Chicago artist. I have an acidic stomach. Am I part vulture? Well, I don't know, Bill. Have you tried to eat rotten flesh? Lots of turkey vultures around here. Yeah. I have a lot of vultures around where I live too, because I live in the country and things die all the time and the vultures are always cleaning it up. I love eggs as well. People, as I use that, the secret food to protein is whole eggs. Yeah, man. When I first broke the vegan spell on myself, when I was eating vegan food for like 6-7 months, I think it was 7 months. And, I ate eggs first. I didn't eat meat. I went to eating eggs and I was like, oh, it was like they made me come back alive. It made me really love eggs. And I love fried eggs. Fried over easy. When you get the goopy yolk in the center, and then when you take a bite out of your fried egg sandwich, the yolk comes like out and gets all over the sandwich. It's like the best. I love it. I'm probably gonna make myself one of those when I get off of here. Both sides of the crazy GoFundMe or whatever have been funded by letter agencies. If people don't get that, they don't belong in the conspiracy community. Yeah, no kidding, man. It's crazy. All these anonymous donors to these GoFundMes, and they're like thousands of dollars. It's like, who's got thousands of dollars to give, first of all, to some kid who killed another kid, or to some white woman who said nigger? Like, it's the dumbest shit ever. Eggs have energy, yeah. Dippy eggs, yes. Dip the toast in the yolk, yeah, buddy. Or like when you have like potatoes, like chopped potatoes, roasted potatoes, and then a fried egg over that. Oh man. Or even with grits. I also like grits. Grits, and then you put in some cheese, some feta cheese, some goat cheese, or even cream cheese, and a little bit of hot sauce. And then a fried egg. Woo! Egg white lower in vitamin A. Sometimes I just have that part. The yolk is the best part. The yolk is the best part. Raised by gypsies. Hey, happy Moonday, happy Mama's Day. Thank you. Yeah. What is this? There's something about a table of politicians and somebody left their bag of Coke on the table. Did anybody hear about this? Most important political question of the day. Is this a bag of Coke or a tissue? I mean, it does look like crumpled up plastic something. Oh, it was a Macron. Watch the bag of Coke suddenly disappear. That's hilarious. Trying to hide something, wasn't he? Did Macron, the guy who married a dude, have a bag of Coke? I don't know. Egg, hash brown, patties, peppers, onions, hot sauce, and bacon. Ew, no bacon. I laughed so hard when Jaren, as a little one, would order dippy eggs at restaurants. It took a while for him to figure out it was a home term. Watching Lord of Oppressed White Fires jump in it like they never heard of a psyop. Macron and his cronies. Who leaves perfectly good cocaine behind? Big, huge duck eggs. Duck eggs are good. I bought some duck eggs the other, not that long ago. I thought they were good. Why would you hide a tissue? I mean, it is a little unsightly. I mean, I would clean the tissue up off the table, but that doesn't look like he's cleaning up a tissue. It looks like he's hiding something. Like he's like, oh shit. Oh, and here's a video of Macron touching his nose all the time. Zelensky and Macron before they became presidents. Oh my gosh, are these... Well, we already knew Zelensky was a clown. Look at Macron. Is that real? Oh my god. Flock of Seagulls Macron, dude. That's hilarious. Look at that hair. Get out of here. Come on, that's fake. This has got to be AI face swap. Is that real? That's got to be fake. Hilarious. Pretty funny, though. Duck eggs a little richer, yolk flavor than chicken eggs, yeah. CMG, are you a cop? Anyone got any coke? RIP to all flat earth channels. Why do you say that? Talk about flat earth. But, I mean, there's other stuff to talk about, too, besides flat earth. Shit. I mean, what do you want to talk about with flat earth? What is there to talk about? And who cares about Nachiketa? And the Upwards Rising Earth crew? Like, seriously, who cares? Stavely and Brian Stavely actually became a realtor. He quit doing YouTube and he got a real job and he's doing very well. Jesse Hal. Was that guy even a flat earth channel? I don't think that guy was flat earth anyway. Should have moved to France. They seem to have all the coke. Did they steal it from Colombia? I bet they do over in Ibiza. Oh yeah, you know it, Billingtano. Why not eat turkey eggs? I don't know. Has anybody ate a turkey egg? What do you mean all the flat earth channels are being shut down? What flat earth channels are being shut down? Platypus egg. Weird. That's just weird. They call it the big sniff. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. What else is going on? What in other news? Never had a turkey egg, but I bet they're good. Turkeys are huge and take a lot more feed than chickens or ducks. Yeah. People quit eating turkey eggs because chicken egg producers paid newspapers to print a story about turkey eggs giving you leprosy. Really? Do turkeys lay daily like chickens? Or is it not as often? Well, then why don't you make a channel and talk about flat earth? Stop being such a fucking crybaby. Why is my chat the crybaby chat that people crybabies want to come to? Like, stop your fucking crying. There's no crying in flat earth. There's no fucking crying. Come on. Suck it up. Through the good times and the bad. Right? There's just a little bit of a lull. You gonna cry about it? Oh, yeah. Stop. Seriously, go do something. Get a hobby. Go make something with your hands. Make some videos about flat earth if you're so upset about there not being enough flat earth content. Seriously. Wild ducks around here go shoreline and gather eggs all day long. Ooh. They lay seasonally and their eggs are giant. Ducks lay only in spring. They come for your tough love. I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. Hilarious. Why are you censoring everyone for no reason? I'm not censoring anybody. I didn't censor anybody. Maybe a wrench censored somebody. Maybe they didn't like your crying. The Mandela effect destroys Christianity? That's kind of a weird take. I don't think that's true either. Person with a silly name. The grand snot. I saw an article earlier too about how they think they found like the theory of everything or something stupid, and it was like the whole article was like, we made up some more BS that might prove the original BS is related to this other type of BS. Like, it was ridiculous. Let me see if I can find it. Inverse vaccine. What the hell is an inverse vaccine? See if I can find it. Yeah, this is it. I think. Let me see. Yeah, this is what I was reading. The rise of quantum. Oh, so ridiculous. When physicists try to apply general relativity and quantum mechanics in the same scenario, like the core of a black hole or the first moments of the Big Bang, mathematics breaks down into paradoxes and infinities. The equations become nonsense. This incompatibility is not just an annoyance, it's a crisis. It means our current understanding of the universe is incomplete. Oh, the equations become nonsense. Shocking! Hence the dream of a theory of everything is born again, not just to unify gravity and electromagnetism as Einstein hoped, but to unite all the fundamental forces of nature, gravity, electromagnetism, the weak nuclear force, the strong nuclear force, into one consistent framework. Flat Earth is my favorite, but there are other things going on. Seriously! Why are you not blue, you weirdo? Everyone racially slur the gray letters, dude. Wear your color. At least be green. Funny. We mostly talk about other things in FE here. You know, seriously. Hey, Nathan. I mean, there's all kinds of knowledge that can serve you in the world. Not every single bit of it has to do with the Earth being flat, right? I mean, I love Flat Earth too, and if there was something fascinating to talk about, regarding Flat Earth, we could talk about it. What's the fascinating new news in Flat Earth right now? Because there really isn't. That's just how it goes sometimes. That's just how it goes. The standard model includes the electromagnetic force carried by photons. This is photons. This is bullshit. The weak nuclear force responsible for radioactive decay mediated by W and Z bosons. A strong nuclear force which binds protons and neutrons together in the nucleus, mediated by gluons. And then there are particles themselves, the quarks, which make up protons and neutrons, the leptons, including the electron neutrinos, and the bosons, the force-carrying particles. Most famously, the Higgs boson, discovered in 2012 at CERN, explains why particles have mass through the Higgs field. This is the cult of bumping particles that Wheeler talks about. Standard model is stunningly successful. It has been confirmed by countless experiments, and its predictions match observed results to astonishing degrees of accuracy, and yet it is not a theory of everything. Why? The standard model does not include gravity. It treats gravity as a negligible force in particle interactions. It doesn't explain dark matter, nor dark energy. Anyway. Loop, quantum, gravity, it's like such a complete and ridiculous word salad to make people think that the scientists are actually still thinking about this, or that they're making any sort of, headway in learning about what the universe is and blah, 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 blah. So, can science truly explain the universe? Perhaps not completely, perhaps never fully, but it can illuminate vast swaths of darkness connecting the stars to the atom, the mind to the cosmos. It can reveal patterns, laws, symmetries, and with them a sense of meaning and wonder. Oh, isn't that special? What about the morons? Yeah, Higgs field, i.e. the ether, exactly. They forgot to mention strap-ons. Oh, that's funny. About there being dark photons. He called bullshit, and so do I. Of course! Because photons are bullshit. You know why Stavely doesn't talk about the Mandela effect anymore? Because he's living his life. He got a real job. He's a realtor and he's living his life. He is a big boy. Okay? That's why. Good Lord. If the ether isn't in the equation, then it's bullshit. I mean, his channel is still there as an archive. He said Brian said that he said everything that he's got to say. He has said everything he's got to say. His channel is still there as an archive. And he's happy now. Let's see. Oops. I think it's still there. Dose of reality filter channel. There we go. Dose of reality show. I wonder if he changed the name of his main channel. Let's see. No content. Filters channel. Oops, maybe I could say Brian Stavely. Oh, there goes Brian's realtor channel. There's Brian. There's Brian's doggo. Yeah, there's Brian.
Welcome to beautiful Lake Norman. I'm here in Cornelius, North Carolina, the place in which I am now very proud to call home, and I think you would be as well. So if you're looking to buy a home on the lake, near Charlotte, or anywhere in North Carolina, or if you're looking to sell a home, perhaps upgrade, I can help you with that. I'm Brian Stavely, the Lake Norman Realtor. I'm going to leave my contact info below. Also, the QR code that's in the corner of the screen here. You can just scan that with your phone. You can import all my information and just click save. I hope to hear from you, and let's make all of your real estate dreams come true.
Look, yeah, you say you got a real job like before was BS. It's not like, listen, you don't make a lot of money being a YouTube streamer, especially one who wants to, expose things like COVID. You're never going to build any sort of life for yourself unless you're a complete sellout on YouTube. I mean, I thought this was understood. You don't make any money on YouTube. Really, hardly anything. Like maybe enough to pay for a trip to the grocery store. So it's like, if you get in a place where you're really serious and you need to, pay your bills and you want to eventually own your own home, well, you either be a sellout on YouTube and you play video games or just make a bunch of fluff videos, that don't question anything or don't expose any lies or anything like that. And then you can make money. Other than that, pretty much, you're just going to have to go get a real job. Because being an influencer is not a real job. Being a live streamer is not really a real job, in my opinion. As someone who is sitting here right now live streaming, I'm telling you right now, it's not a real job. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not really doing anything. It's not life-changing. It's not really, what are you really accomplishing? Like, we're just here talking bullshit. We're just all here bullshitting. We're talking about rabies. We're deep diving on rabies. You know, we talk about whatever comes up, and it's cool, right? Like, it's fine. It's fun to hang out and talk and do stuff, but this is not like, you know, not what I would consider a real job. Uncle Dave on Strange World tomorrow. Great. Well, I'll be in bed. Look at, see, Conspiracy Music Group. I have 80,000 subs and I get approximately $100 a month, right? That's what I'm saying. It's not, YouTube is not the most lucrative thing for people like us. I'll just say that. For people like us. It's just not. Some slaves put a good fight, not get back to work. Well, people have to live. People have to live. People have to exist in this material world, and unfortunately, at this moment in time, for most people, that requires the acquisition of many, many petrodollars or fiat or whatever you want to call it, okay, which you then can exchange for a place that provides you shelter or food or, you know, gas for your vehicle or whatever you want to do in life. I'd like to see somebody who's living life without spending one freaking dollar, because I don't see it happening. Not here in any sort of meaningful way. You know, even if you're off grid, you still need money. Without super chats, Karen might make $3 for her effort this morning. Yeah, $3 a month, and then YouTube takes a third of it. Conspiracy Music Guru, I tell everyone to get the last CD with the heavy guitar. It's great. Yeah. Right? CMG probably does better with like the merch store or selling music, right? The only ones who make money is from the fans, so we can either be real or constantly beg and nag for money like street beggars. Exactly! And I'm not doing that. You know, like, it is what it is, you know? It is what it is. Gamers get a ton of super chats, right? Or I could become an anti-flat earth channel. I could become a flat earth debunk channel. And then I could probably make more money. We know how much money those guys make, right? Look at McToon. That dude's raking in the dough. Fight the fat shirt. Raking in the dough on their YouTube channels, because they're not, you know, they toe the line. They push mainstream narrative BS. Sales suck. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, CMG. Dude, it's rough right now, man. It's really rough. It's just rough. Things are expensive. Everybody's broke, you know? So it's like, what do? You hang out, you drink some coffee, you talk some shit. That's what you do. You talk some shit, you laugh at idiots, and you go on about your day. I met a fellow David Johnson or something in Victoria, BC, who lived without using money for some time. Huh. Man, if people can do it, I would love to know how that works. Flat Earth cost me a big house and lusher lifestyle for sure, but my soul is richer. Yeah, man. People in our community complain about anyone charging for anything. Yeah, Brian got a job. He wanted to get paid. Exactly. Right? I mean, when Brian was doing the full-time streaming thing, he was hustling. And he was like renting a room from me. He was never gonna graduate from being renting a room from Karen to having his own apartment and his own space unless he got a real job, which is what he did, you know? Anyone want to buy my house? Are you seriously selling your house? Are you selling your house, CMG? Are you guys leaving Spain? Or are you just going somewhere else? Or are you just talking shit? At work right now, hoping to get a raise soon. June is the end of the fiscal year here, which is raise time. Yeah, man. Super tardy to the party. Hey, slapping the bass. So, yeah. That's why Brian doesn't do live streams anymore and doesn't... Although I thought his Dose of Reality channel was still on YouTube. Let me see. Unless he hid that channel. He might have hid it. He might have hid it because he's trying to do real estate and stuff, and he probably doesn't want, you know, potential clients to be triggered by the stuff he says. You know what I'm saying? It's probably a good idea for him to hide that channel if he wants to, if he's really serious about it. And it looks like he is. Unless that many people unsubscribed and it went way down, because he did have like 17,000 subscribers. Let's see. I bet you though, let's see. Oh, did somebody give me a tip? You the best. From Tony C. Thank you, Tony C. I appreciate you. Let me see if I can find where, if Brian's work is anywhere. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Dose of Reality. Here we go. Check it out. So here on Odyssey is the Dose of Reality channel. And it's got, let's see. Does he have stuff here? He might have. Maybe he cleaned his stuff up. 7 months ago. Oh yeah, look at all this stuff here. There's tons of stuff on this channel. Tons of stuff. I wonder if this has like all the stuff we did during COVID that got taken down. Look at this, it just keeps loading. Tons. There you go. If you want to watch vintage Brian Stavely, there you go, just go to Odyssey. He's got his My Awakening interviews. There you go. Tony's a stud. I'm considering moving to a more solitary place in the Spanish country. Too many leaf blowers around me. Oh, really? In Israel, there are no FE groups anymore. Facebook had closed many groups. Really? Likes to have electricity, needs a home with a better grid system. Brian deleted all his videos. No, you gotta go to Odyssey. You just gotta go to Odyssey. He's got a ton of videos. Look at that. Remember how Brian was. It doesn't say how many videos, but there's a lot. See what I'm saying? I'll be heading out to the country once I get my driver's license. Sufanele! I can't believe you don't have a driver's license. How do you not have a driver's license? I could never live in a city either. I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area, which is a highly populated area, and I never want to go back to living like that ever again. I want to be further out in the country. I've got a real job, and I love telling coworkers about Flat Earth, including conversation last night. Nice! Yeah, the traffic is getting bad. It's getting bad here, too. We already know the Earth is flat, says Raised by Gypsies. A turkey hen will lay a clutch of 10 to 12 eggs and then incubate them continuously for 28 days. Duck eggs don't get salmonella. Really tasty, too. Dose of Reality has gone on Rockfin. Yeah. Some other people were telling me that Rockfin, like, straight took all their followers. I'm surprised. Let's see. Wow, yeah. I just clicked on it and it said this page isn't real. Watch. 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 See? Here, Dose of Reality, Brian is Stavely. Not real. Let's see.
What up, what up?
Maybe he deleted his channel. Because this came up, which is on Zulu's channel, R.I.P. Zulu, where he tagged Brian Stavely, but it doesn't highlight anymore. So he probably took his stuff off of YouTube. However, like I said, you can still find Dose of Reality on Odyssey. There's an archive there. So there you go. Mandela Effect. Mandela Effect. Dose of Reality. Boom, boom, boom. Look, even some old UTR. Unveiling this realm. That was the hippie movement back in the 60s, 70s. Look what happened to that. They traded. It was squashed by the government. Ha! 2 DUIs back in 09 and 10. Oh. Zero desire to go back to Denver, right? Found out 3 of your coworkers are flat earthers. Cool. They took Beth Martins down? That's wild. How am I still there? How did they not take me down? I'm still there. Probably because I stream here live all the time. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how. If everybody else is gone, how am I still here? Darren's still here. Unfollowing. Unfollow. He forgot to put the big red X on his logo on Rockfin. Hilarious. Bootlickers make money but sell their soul, right? Exactly. Hey, Alan Korzep. Cheers. Thank you for the super chat. Haven't got a thing done all morning. I'm sorry. You could just put me down and put me on in the background and get your stuff done. Did anyone else get a notice to join a class action lawsuit against Siri this morning? No! Yeah, that must be why. They said Beth had too much of her stuff listed as free. They want a certain amount to be premium access. Oh. Well, you know, I just set it to premium because it defaults there, and I figure anybody watching on Rockfin, if they pay for Rockfin, then they're watching it there anyway. Most people don't watch there, though. Most people will watch on YouTube, or there's Rumble, or Facebook. Like, it's all everywhere. It's not like there's any, you know... Rockfin's not getting anything that nobody else gets. Shh, don't tell them. Don't tell them. Non-premium content really pissed them off. Well, you know, they kind of did that. They kind of screwed everybody over first, because when we first went over there, we got a bunch of people subscribing to Rockfin and stuff. And then, like, they started taking way more a higher percentage of whatever tips or whatever, and like it was like they just started ripping everybody off, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, you know, so I was like, well, I'm not gonna push it anymore, I'm not gonna promote it, but I won't, you know, not stream there. I'll just add it to the stream list, just another streaming thing on the stream list, you know, just like Twitch or YouTube or Facebook or Trovo gets streamed to now. I could even add Instagram if I wanted, and I could add TikTok, but I don't have a TikTok account, and I don't want a TikTok account, and Instagram's kind of a pain in the butt to stream to be honest with you. So I just leave it as YouTube, Rumble, Facebook, and then usually I do Odyssey. I started doing Odyssey now too, but then I kind of ran out of time, and I did not set up an Odyssey stream today. But nobody really watches me on there, to be honest with you. I don't really think I get any viewers there anyway. Live viewers, that is. I'm streaming right now under my Live in Studio with Karen B and Ted, except I am not it's just streaming to my old stream that I set up. That's funny. Anyway, whatever. I quit Rockfin. And change the price and the setup. Exactly. So I figure I just leave it on premium, and then if people have Rockfin or like Rockfin, they're probably members of Rockfin, and they could just watch it. Is it true you are a witch? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Anyway. Opening statements in the Diddy trial, huh? Opening statements underway in Sean Combs' sex trafficking trial, huh? Trial of the music mogul Sean Combs got underway Monday morning in federal district court in Lower Manhattan as prosecutors accused him of a series of violent acts and using his employees to coerce several women into sex. Prosecutors accused Mr. Combs, 55, of leading a criminal enterprise that arranged that what were described as freak-offs and said that he had abused a number of women, including his former girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, the singer known as Cassie. Mr. Combs' lawyers acknowledged that there was domestic violence in this case, but denied that he had run a racketeering enterprise. In the defense's opening statement, Sean Combs' lawyer argued that while he was responsible for domestic violence and jealousy-fueled disputes with former girlfriends, his conduct did not amount to the alleged crimes at issue at his trial, racketeering and sex trafficking. The lawyer, Tenny Garagos, implored jurors to see that legal distinction and not to judge Combs for his unconventional sexual preferences, which she described as consensual threesomes by adults. As for the government's star witness, Cassandra Ventura, Garagos sought to undercut her testimony by noting that she had stayed in the relationship for over a decade. Well, a lot of abused women stay in relationships for far too long. I was in an abusive relationship for almost an entire decade. For 9 years. And I was very afraid of that man. So that doesn't really mean shit because she stayed there. You know? Sean Combs' defense has completed their opening statement, which lasted about 50 minutes. Judge excused the jury 1 hour for lunch and is now discussing some details about evidence with lawyers on both sides. Trials adjourned. All right, so Diddy Combs' trial started. Oh my gosh, why is this box so big? So Trump's supposedly supposed to be trying to lower drug prices, pharmaceutical drug prices, right? And did you hear about Qatar wants to give Trump a $400 million jet? Laura Loomer. But, yeah, but apparently the Qatari government is trying to give Trump a 747 that's worth $400 million. But he can't accept the gift unless Congress says it's okay, as far as I understood it. I watched a video where some guy was saying that presidents aren't really they're not allowed to accept gifts from foreign governments, unless Congress says it's okay. So the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge, a 747 aircraft to replace the 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily, and a very public and transparent transaction so bothers the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway. This is more than Israel has ever done for us. Qatar is now our greatest ally. Yes, and was that bribing our politicians is the job of Israel and the Jews, and they don't take kindly to Qatar encroaching on their territory? Oy vey. Oh, so you're saying he's accepted it? But I thought Congress had to approve it. Hmm. Crane is probably ribbed with remote takeover. Don't you guys think that they could get some mechanics, some plane mechanics, and some people to look over the plane? Don't you think that they would think about that and that they would inspect it thoroughly? I mean, let's just think about this for a second. Don't you think that they would inspect that plane to see if there's anything wrong with it? It's funny to me. Hard for me to take any of these stories in the news as real, yeah. Just a water witch with dosing rods? Did he do it? Imagine if your ex had the money and connections Diddy had, even more reason to be afraid to leave, right? Check out the story in Purple about Don Pettit and his ISS photography collection. Okay, one sec. Take all with a grain of salt and filter for real bits. Yeah, exactly. Trump be like, no, I'm somebody's bitch. I was reading through my copy of the Farmer's Almanac. If I read it correctly, the solstice is on the 23rd of June. The story just makes no sense. What story? I wouldn't trust Boeing to make an Air Force One with their ship falling apart in the sky. Hey, man. I don't know. I don't have to fly on it, so whatever. One astronaut, many cameras. Oh, I can't look. I can't look at that article because they want me to subscribe. I'm sorry. I'm not subscribing. I'm trying to find it somewhere else, but I can't find it. The Air Force One story makes no sense. Where can I find more information about this? Trump defends a prospect of Qatar gifting him a plane to use as Air Force One. Donald Trump is ready to accept a luxury Boeing 747-8 jumbo jet as a gift from the ruling family of Qatar during his trip to the Middle East this coming week, and U.S. officials say it could be converted into a potential presidential aircraft. The Qatari government said a final decision hadn't been made. Still, Trump defended the idea that would amount to a president accepting an astonishingly valuable gift from a foreign government as a fiscally smart move for the country. So the fact that the Defense Department is getting a gift free of charge of a 747 aircraft to replace a 40-year-old Air Force One temporarily in a very public and transparent transaction so bothers the crooked Democrats that they insist we pay top dollar for the plane, Trump posted on his social media site on Sunday night. Anybody can do that. ABC News reported that Trump will use the aircraft as his presidential plane until shortly before he leaves office in January 2029, when ownership will be transferred to the foundation overseeing his yet-to-be-built presidential library. The gift was expected to be announced when Trump visits Qatar, according to ABC's report, as part of the trip that also includes stops in Saudi Arabia, United Arab Emirates, the first extended foreign travel of his second term. Before Trump's post trumpeting the idea, Ali Al-Ansari, Qatar's media attaché, said in a statement that possible transfer of an aircraft for temporary use as a Air Force One is currently under consideration between Qatar's Ministry of Defense and the U.S. Department of Defense. But the matter remains under review by the respective legal departments and no decision has been made, the statement added. Meanwhile, administration officials anticipating ethics concerns have prepared an analysis arguing that accepting the plane would be legal, according to ABC. The Constitution's emoluments clause bars anyone holding government office from accepting any present emolument, office, or title from any king, prince, or foreign state without congressional consent. That's what I was saying earlier. Congress has to approve it. One expert on government ethics, Kathleen Clark of Washington University School of Law in St. Louis, accused Trump of being committed to exploiting the federal government's power, not on behalf of policy goals, but for amassing personal wealth. State Minority Leader Chuck Schumer poked fun at Trump's America First political slogan. Nothing says America First like Air Force One brought to you by Qatar, the New York Democrat said in a statement. It's not just bribery, it's premium foreign influence with extra legroom. Even some conservatives expressed dismay online, noting that an aircraft being offered by a foreign government could present security risks if used by U.S. President. Air Force One is a modified Boeing 747. Two exist, and the president flies on both, which are more than 30 years old. Boeing Inc. has the contract to produce updated versions, but delivery has been delayed while the company has lost billions of dollars on the project. Really? Trump intends to convert the Qatari aircraft into a plane he can fly on as president, with the Air Force planning to add secure communications and other classified elements to it, but it will still have more limited capabilities than the existing planes that were built to serve as Air Force One, as well as two other aircraft currently under construction, according to a former U.S. official. So there's already two other Air Force Ones under construction? The official was briefed about the plane and spoke Sunday on the condition of anonymity to discuss plans that have not been yet made public. The existing planes used as Air Force Ones are heavily modified with survivability capabilities for the president for a range of contingencies, including radiation shielding and anti-missile technology. They also include a variety of communication systems to allow the president to remain in contact with the military and issue orders from anywhere in the world. The official told the Associated Press that it would be possible to quickly add some countermeasures and communication systems to the Qatari plane, but that it would be less capable than the existing Air Force One aircraft or long-delayed replacements. Neither the Qatari plane nor the upcoming VC-25B aircraft will have the air-to-refueling capabilities of the current VC-25A aircraft, which is the one the president currently flies on. Jordan Leibovitz, communication director for the advocacy group Citizens for Responsibility and Ethics in Washington, called such a gift unprecedented. The totality of gifts given to a president over their term doesn't get close to this level. You have to ask, if he makes a foreign policy, especially in regards to the Middle East, how much is he being influenced by his gifts and his business deals? So, Leibovitz, do you think this guy has any ties to Israel or is loyal to Israel? No offense to Israel, people. And so Qatar would be that would be considered a Muslim government, right? So it's funny that it's just weird. Like, these things come up in the story. It's just meant to cause more division. It's what it is. It's just something else to cause more division. ABC said the new plane is similar to a 13-year-old Boeing aircraft Trump toured in February while it was parked at Palm Beach International Airport, and he was spending the weekend at his Mar-a-Lago club. Trump faced lawsuits for violating the emoluments clause during his first term, but those were ended by the Supreme Court in 2021, which found the cases moot because the Republican had left office. Oh, really? What gifts did he get during his first term? Actually, people decided to take him for court over. I don't recall. Trump's family business, Trump Organization, which is now largely run by his sons, has vast and growing interest in the Middle East. That includes a new deal to build a luxury golf resort in Qatar, partnering with Qatari DR, a real estate company backed by that country's sovereign wealth fund. Qatar, which is ruled by the Al Thani family, is home to the state-owned airline Qatar Airways. The country also has worked to have a close relationship to Trump after he apparently backed a boycott of Doha by 4 Arab nations in his first term. Trump later in his term applauded Qatar. Okay. Administration officials have brushed off concerns about the president's policy interests blurring with family business profits. They note that Trump's assets are in a trust managed by his children, and that a voluntary ethics agreement released by the Trump Organization in January bars the company from striking deals directly with foreign governments. Can you talk about what Elizabeth is going on about on your Ko-Fi donation page? Oh, dude. It's not Elizabeth. It's a person that says for Elizabeth. And the guy wanted me... Okay, Lizbeth, right? Lizbeth, who's not talking to anybody now. I don't know what's up with her. Okay, I have no idea. Don't ask me what's going on with Lizbeth, because I don't know. He wanted me... That's the guy who calls in all the time. And he's like, you guys, I know you guys have heard his calls. And he was the one who called and said that he wanted me to give Lizbeth $100 so that she could get some magnets and put magnets on her body to see if she was magnetized or polarized somehow in a weird way when she went to Antarctica and spent all the time in the large, what do you call it? Simulator, environment simulator. Like, this guy thinks that's the guy who thinks that Jaron and Lizbeth and Austin went to Antarctica and went into a studio, some kind of weird mystical giant studio that can accept airplanes landing in it, and that when they went there they got magnetized in some weird way. And then he sent me $150, $50 if I sent the money, $100 of it to Lizbeth, because Lizbeth didn't want to accept. She wouldn't hear, probably rightfully so. She didn't want to accept money from him or whatever. I don't know what the deal was, but so I go, okay, I'll send her the $100, right? You can send me money and I'll send her $100, which I did. He sent me money. I then sent Lizbeth $100 on Cash App. Actually, let me see if I can even pull up the transaction to prove that I'm not lying. Let's see. Or was it Venmo? It was either Venmo or Cash App. Let me see. I have to look at past transactions here. I can't find it. Was it Cash App or was it Venmo? It might have been Venmo. Okay, here we go. Okay, here we go. Check it out. March 16th, I sent Lizbeth $100. Just like that guy wanted, okay? So I sent her the $100. And then, outside of that, I have no control if Lizbeth uses the money to go get magnets and put magnets on her shoulder to show whether or not she's been magnetized. That I can't control what she does. He said, send Lizbeth $100 and send her this. I did. I passed on the message and I gave her $100. Well, then she didn't want to do it or didn't do it or whatever. Then he wanted to try to get me to do it to Witsit. And I'm sorry, but I don't care how much money you give me. I don't want to go around harassing everybody about stupid freaking magnets and magnetizing themselves because you think that they were in a studio in Antarctica. I'm not doing that. I'm not going to go run around chasing everybody down and be like, "Are you going to put a magnet? Put a magnet. I want to see if you got magnetized when in the studio in Antarctica." I'm just not doing that shit. So that is what that person is going on about on Ko-Fi. Does that answer your question? Roy Ayers, that's what's going on. Hey, Fathead. Hey, Fathead's having a get-together, jamming across the plane. Jamming the plane or whatever. She asked me if I'd like to magnetize the plain and simple guy. Yeah. If Trump walked on water, the Democrat-run media would report that he can't swim. It's too funny. Chuck Schumer is calling out the bribery while he's a multimillionaire from shady dealings and only making $400K a year. Exactly. They're all liars. All the politicians are all freaking liars. The plain and simple guy. I don't know what the plain and simple... I don't know what that means, but the one who wants to talk about, like, how he's gonna write a check for himself for $4 million from, like, the birth certificate fund. Remember that? And he's like saying, oh, you could do this, you could do that, I'm gonna do it. But you haven't done it yet, have you? Go get your $4 million and prove it, and then come back and tell us your story about how you did it. You know what I'm saying? That guy. Hello, over there on Rumble. So anyway, if you want to know, that's what it is. Jamming the plane. There you go. Jamming the plane. June 20th through the 22nd in Colorado. The guy who says basically about every other word. Yeah. Not that guy. Yeah, so anyway. Let me see. Updated information for Jamming the Plane 5. June 20th through the 22nd. Open-minded men and women and children jam session, talent show, camping, hangout. And if you want to go, you email. How does one go to this, fathead? Do you want them to send you an email or what? That was his screen name. Pressing me about why you took off your bear emoji. Oh. I don't think this guy has ever been. I don't think he's ever been to any of the Flattoberfest. I tried the birth certificate thing back in the 90s. You need to be independently wealthy and have huge balls. Very risky. I don't know. I hear people, try to tell cool stories about all the stuff you can get from the government because of your birth certificate. I've never seen anybody collect on it. I've never seen anybody be successful. Which is why when that guy starts talking about that stuff, I kind of shut it down. Because I'm like, this is not the place, bro. Cammy setting fireworks off in the house? Really? Also have a Telegram. Let's see. There you go. Okay. Here, I'll put a link to your Telegram group for jamming the plane. There you go. So when you get there, let's see. I think I just joined. There it goes. There you go. Oh, look at the cows. Look at your baby cow. How cute. Oh. I guess this is at Fathead's place. I like your logo thing you made. That's cool. Did you make that? There you go. Is that at your event? I have no idea. What a nice view though. You're in like the flat part of Colorado.
Wow. Look at that one. There's a fireball over the mountains over there. Sunset, Denver, Colorado, at Fathead's place. Sunday, jamming on the plane. Imagine sitting here with a beer in your hand. Wouldn't that be awesome?
Is that you
Looking
talking?
at this sunset instead of thinking about going to work tomorrow. So you better think about being here next year.
Cool. Party Poet is a complete psychopath? Who's Party Poet? Oh, is that the person? That sounds right. That actually sounds like that might be the right name. Not a coup. Say crazy things. Yeah, man. I'm just... Oh, it's your buddy from Denmark? I was gonna say, I heard you on NDB stream, and I don't remember you sounding like that. That's funny. That's cool. Looks like a cool place you got there, Fathead. Right on. Right on. Also, Gregory, I see you sent me some things, like a free month to somebody's Substack. That's cool. Thank you. I will read it. I'll read whatever that guy's talking about. Where are you, fathead? Colorado is my home state. Anyway, that's what's going on. So, what else? What else? What other things are in the news? Let's see. What's happening? Bam Bam? Oh yeah, the tariff, all the tariffs got dropped. Shocking, right? All that big scary news about the tariffs. Now all of a sudden the tariffs are like super low. And China and Trump are best buddies again. I mean, I feel like all this stuff is just... It's like trying to placate people or to make people feel like Trump is doing all this good stuff when really he's just subverting Americans like every other president did. All the time. Everywhere. Interesting. AI doesn't want to talk about how Jeffrey Epstein introduced Elon Musk's brother to his girlfriend, or the connections that, you know, with Elon and Epstein, or Trump and Epstein. Like, it's wild, dude. It's wild how much they just bury shit, and people are just like, oh yeah, they just completely forget about everything that goes on. The new American Pope, yeah. Alex and Nico, they're gonna go out there for for Fathead's adventure. Cool. Nice, Tony. And Peter Thiel. Yep. They're all just so slimy. You know, everything that's going on. It's just, I feel like we're watching the purposeful, like, destruction of America, essentially, is what's happening. But we'll see. We'll see how things play out. This is what angels look like according to the Bible. Have you guys seen this stuff? I've seen these depictions before. It's kind of weird, kind of creepy, huh? Looks like something you'd see on a DMT trip, if I'm completely honest with you. Tariffs just a way to get more money from average Joe. Dude, it doesn't even work like the way that they make it sound that it works in the news. They make it sound like if you put these big huge tariffs on imports from China, that the Chinese people have to pay it, but they don't. It's whoever's importing it has to pay it. So that is a tax on Americans. It's not a tax on China. It's wild to me that they even get away with putting that shit in the news, and people are just like, oh, yeah, China, stop ripping us off. Better stop ripping us off, China. It's so dumb. Like they purposely make movies bad these days. Yeah, everything's just bad. So what do? You sit here and you talk shit. Talk shit on Coffee Talk. Yeah, that's what you do. You drink coffee and you talk shit. Oh my goodness. And Foundering has been reviving all these old ragtime songs that have all these racist titles in it. It's pretty hilarious.
Coon, what's about to die right soon? Bet your highest figure that I kill a nigger just because he done gone stole my baby. I'm a-gwine to tell him fair, for to meet his lords prepare. Then I'm going to spill him, carve him till I kill him. I'll just show that coon how. I ain't obliged to stand no nigger fooling us around. To babe I long to call my own, cause I's been raised with different kind of schooling. So I'll carve that nigger to the bone.
What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that? Hey, Captain Caveman. I'm gonna try mushrooms while I'm here. Zach has already made capsules for me. Ooh! I like making tea. I think mushroom tea works pretty good. Palantir backend software is embedded in almost everything. I know. They're turning everything into like AI surveillance state run by Palantir and other companies like that basically, you know, assassin companies, deep, all this crazy dark shit. Like, what the hell, man? Thank you, Life Matrix. The only thing I got trying shrooms was nauseated stomach. Oh, maybe you didn't eat enough. Sorry. Squirrel. That was funny. It's like you guys are not even reacting to Foundering singing that song. Were you not listening? If you throw up, then you'll really start tripping. Black Rock, State Street, Vanguard, yeah. It also helps if you don't eat a ton of food before you eat the mushrooms, at least just in my opinion. It'll be stronger. Long live Flat Earth, right? Right, Redondo Rocket? Long live Flat Earth. I mean, I got a Flat Earth map on my stream right here. How can you say there's no Flat Earth channels anymore? I guess I don't count as a Flat Earth channel. I guess I just don't count. Aww. I'm so sad. I'm gonna be joining, Flat Earth Social later this month with Ian Leahy, where he does this thing at the last Tuesday of every month in the UK. Didn't like that song, Not My Style. These are old ragtime songs. He's found all these old ragtime songs and they're hella racist. They sound hella racist. La Pamela. I like some of the stuff he plays on piano. I think it's pretty cool. He's very talented. There's not a lot of people who can play ragtime. It's like a notoriously difficult style of piano to play. So he gets my respect for that. Donate blood, then mushroom. Danica Patrick has a podcast. Dude, everybody's got a podcast. That sucks, the couch. I know, Billingtano. I'd be so pissed at that kid. Oh my god. My son would get a whooping. He'd get a whooping. Yeah. And look at this. Elon Musk changed his name to Gorklon Russ. Why is this guy always freaking LARPing? I hate his guts. AI music creation is tripping me out. I'm convinced AI is wired to source. Not sure what side of source, but yeah, supernatural stuff. Dude, Life Matrix, you're not even kidding me. Like, I was asking my friends who make music if they could make me new coffee talk music, right? Just mellow jazz loop, like nothing major, right? But, so I was talking to Crumb about it because he was here, he was helping me set up the studio and stuff that's over there. The studio where, like, Ted and I sit in the chairs and we talk like it's like, you know, it's different than this. So he goes, why don't you just use AI? And so I literally went to the AI music thing and made a whole new soundtrack for Coffee Talk, which is what you're hearing now, and it's all AI generated. I would even tell it like bossa nova beat, blah blah blah, and it made me exactly what I wanted. It was kind of freaky. I was like, man, that was way too easy. That was way too easy. You know? Way too easy. Inverse vaccines? What is that? Some researchers say a new approach which suppresses a particular part of the immune system rather than amplifying it could be available in the next 5 years. Well, that doesn't sound good either. Why, you know, how do we get people to understand that humans have been alive for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of years and we never needed to get vaccines to be healthy like this entire time? And don't you think that in all those many thousands of years, humans would have already gone extinct if we would get deadly diseases just by coming into contact with each other? Like, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. How do we get people to understand that we don't need to inject yourself with this crap to live, to be healthy? In fact, if you want to be healthy, you probably should avoid every single one. Hey, Musicians for Truth. Way too easy, then people come dependent. Hey man, listen, I asked my friends that play music. I asked my friends that play music to make me music and they told me to use AI. So what do you want? What you want? What you want from me, man? I don't make music. I wish I did, but I don't. Try to get Grok to draw me as a cyborg blacksmith. It didn't really get the results I wanted. Okay, so Giselle Bundchen, Tom's ex, had another child. Is it Elon's baby? Yeah, man. I don't know. Why would it be Elon's baby? I don't understand. Why would it be Elon's baby? Okay, so let's see what they're saying about the inverse vaccine. I'm curious. Autoimmune diseases affect as many as 800 million people around the world. About 1 in 10 of us, from multiple sclerosis and lupus to type 1 diabetes and rheumatoid arthritis. These conditions all share a common trait. The body's own immune system turns against itself. So when did all this stuff start coming around? Is all this stuff like, oh, I don't know, within the last 100 years? Makes me wonder. Current treatments aim to suppress that response, but dialing down the entire immune system comes at a steep cost. Okay, first of all, there's not really an immune system. See, that's another thing too, with like these things, with the way they word stuff. The immune system, like as if there is an immune system. There is no immune system. You have different organs, and some of them are excretory organs, which get rid of stuff that is your not self. So that's BS. A revolution. Current treatments aim to suppress that response, but dialing down the entire immune system. Invasive care. A revolution is now afoot, as researchers are developing a new approach that targets only the specific part of the immune system that's gone rogue. These treatments are known as inverse vaccines because they suppress a particular part of the immune system rather than amplifying it as existing vaccines do. So what is this, like the antidote to their vaccine-induced autoimmune disease problem that they have? That's there? This is the Holy Grail, says Northwestern University immunologist Stephen Miller. We want to use a scalpel rather than a sledgehammer to treat the disease. Miller's 2021 paper published in 2022, Gastroenterology, was the first to demonstrate that inverse vaccines could be effective in humans. The study looked at a celiac disease in which the immune system attacks the intestinal lining when it detects the presence of gluten, a protein found in wheat and other grains. Over 2 weeks, 33 celiac patients who were in remission ingested gluten. About half had received the inverse vaccine beforehand, while the other half got a placebo. After 2 weeks, researchers examined the subject's intestinal lining and found that the inverse vaccine group had no damage, while the placebo group showed a noticeable worsening of symptoms. It re-educates the immune system, so then it says, okay, I'm good. I don't need to attack this because I see that it's not a threat. Oh my god, they talk to you like you're freaking idiots too. The basic idea of inverse vaccines rests on using certain synthetic nanoparticles. Oh, shocking! Synthetic nanoparticles attached to particular disease-related proteins called antigens as targeted messengers to retrain the immune system. The nanoparticles mimic dying human cells, a normal ongoing process. Although these dying cells are foreign, the immune system knows not to attack them. The immune system learns to ignore both the nanoparticles and the attached proteins and stops attacking the body. Oh my god. How about just don't get any vaccines to begin with? How about that? One of the key advantages of inverse vaccines is their broad versatility. It appears that the approach can work for a wide range of autoimmune diseases. It works all the time in animals. We've tried this in many different Right, see, they do all their testing on animals first, right? Like the veterinary industry, while of course they do some good and they do help our pets, when we need them to, but man, don't you think pet vaccination is like, pets were getting vaccinated with coronavirus long before COVID came around. You know that, right? I'm probably going to get a medical disinformation strike or something on this show. Many musicians are pissed and the record companies are scrambling too. AI is destroying the art world. I agree. I'm into art. As someone who's into art, like drawing and painting and like doing graphic design and all that stuff, it's like, yeah, man. And then everybody just type a description into AI and it makes this stuff like in a few seconds. I mean, Even though for a long time it was really retarded, and the hands, and like you'll find weird floaty objects and the hands will be mangled and stuff. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy how quickly it just whips stuff up. Like, whatever you say, it'll just make it. It's wild. All of his kids have Elon's face. Oh, those poor kids. Just wondering if Giselle got in on the procreation project. Remember that chick, Ashley St. Clair, who was whining about Elon reducing her whatchamacallit, her child support? I wonder if she's still here on X. This chick. Nope. See, it's a fake account. 360 followers. Please respect Ashley St. Clair's privacy while she gives a photo shoot and an interview to the Wall Street Journal. Oh, so they don't get to see Elon's baby? The face? She is not all that. The tactics Elon Musk uses to manage his legion of babies and their mothers. A legion. What an interesting word they use to describe Elon's a batch of children. A legion of babies. The world's richest man juggles more than a dozen children and harem drama, along with running his companies and advising Trump. He recently took a paternity test in a battle with one woman over money and privacy. So he had to take a paternity test. But I thought he, like, acknowledged that that was his baby. Fong earned $21,000 on the platform in a 2-week period. That was about when Musk sent her a direct message asking if she was interested in having his child. According to people familiar with the matter, the two had never met in person. Fong didn't move forward with Musk because she pictured having children in a more traditional nuclear family, but confided to a few friends about the approach, including St. Clair, whom she knew as another conservative social media figure, and how she worried that turning him down could hurt her earnings. Once Musk learned that Fong disclosed the request to others, he chided her for not using discretion, according to the people, and unfollowed her. That contributed to a fall in her engagement, and her earnings declined. Oh my God. Wow. Musk had urged her to deliver the baby via cesarean section and told her he didn't want the child to be circumcised. Vaginal births limit brain size and that C-sections allow for larger brains. That is such horseshit. St. Clair is Jewish and circumcisions are an important ritual in the religion, and she decided against a C-section. He told her she should have 10 babies, and they debated the child's middle name. What? This shit is wild, dude. Wow. Oh, here we go. This is the real one. 1.1 million followers. So, I don't know, I guess she's still there. Guess that means we have Legionnaire's disease. Too many Elon babies. Hey, Rico. Elon is a self-proclaimed dirtbag. Larger brains, Nephilim confirmed. First of all, I think that's entirely horseshit. Like, was he born C-section? Does he really believe that bullshit? I mean, come on. I mean, C-section is even a relatively new thing to be happening. Could AI create an FE map from data from each country's land measurements? I tried collecting paper maps of countries to try it, but there's a lot of countries. Oh, Vincent, that's funny. That's funny, but I have thought about that because Cammie, and Bob used to talk about this too, but Cammie brought it up again too recently in a conversation we were having, and it's the WGS 1984 geoid, right? Let's see, what is it? Atlas Maps in WGS 84. World Geodetic System. The eAtlas Interactive Mapping Service helps users to display, access, and interrogate information about properties of the Great Barrier Reef, adjacent catchments. Barrier Reef? That's it? Yeah, see, even this is distorted. But if you got all of those countries, like the old school, like, road atlases, right? I wonder if you could at least try to build an actual, a more accurate shape of the United States, right? If everything has the same scale and the same size, and then you put them all together, you know, to make one big United States, what shape would that be? Does that make sense? It consists of a reference ellipsoid, a standard coordinate system, altitude data, and a geoid. Similar to the North America datum of 1983, it uses the Earth's center mass as a origin. I was preterm in 79 C-section because I was so small. I'm lucky to exist as I am. I realize more and more. Yeah, that's cool. I've heard C-section can cut you off from your first DMT trip, which is maybe why one of my most intense DMT experiences was of me being torn. It seriously was the weirdest experience I ever had. Oh, me being born. That's crazy sounding. I'll work on this with you, Karen. I have several thoughts about. Yeah, man, let's do it. Oh my gosh, it's already almost 1:30. I need to wrap it up. I got little doggos to go take care of and walk, and kitties to feed, and, well, a cat to feed, and stuff. Anyway, it was lovely hanging out with all of you fine people this fine Moonday morning, and I'll be back later on another Monday to talk more shit with y'all. What do you say about that? You want to talk more shit next Monday? All right. Size them all the same scale. Exactly. Yeah, we've thought about this. Like the smaller, you know, and then it would be quite an undertaking, but it would be interesting to see what you get. All right, you guys, have a wonderful rest of your day. thank you for being here. Thank you for participation. I hope you all learned about the truth about rabies today. And I'll see you all next time. Yeah, later. You can send physical mail to P.O. Box 10, Earl, North Carolina, 28038. You can also follow me on Ko-Fi.com. And if you enjoy my shows and want to send me a tip, anything and everything is greatly appreciated, and thank you. And it's official. Flat Earth Festivals has been retired. It was great fun while it lasted, and I hope you all cherish the memories we made at Flattoberfest as much as I do, and it was a pleasure to watch so many online friendships become in real life friendships over the years. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.